scaling it. Bit of tan. Hello again, I am Blunty, and welcome to my review of God of War 3 for the PlayStation 3, in which you play as that guy, the pale scowling guy in the corner. His name is Kratos, he's a big man, he's not happy, in fact he's raging, he's a big pale, angry, white man. This should go well.
The hands of death could not defeat me. The sisters of fate could not hold me. And you will not see the end of this day. I will have my revenge!
Excellent, child! I will tolerate your insolence no more!
Basically, you're on a mission to kill the gods of Olympus, and some titans, and some harpies, and some dogs, and some Medusa serpent things, and some minotaurs, and some chimera, and basically anything that moves, looks sideways at you, farts downwind of you, or is in any way mildly offensive to Kratos, the only man more annoyed at the world than the Incredible Hulk, and he really, really wants to jam the bearded head of Zeus, the king of the gods, right up his own thundery behind.
I'm not a child, Kratos.
It does not matter what you are. My concerns lay elsewhere.
Kratos, please. I need you to free me.
The quest for freedom is also a heavy burden. I cannot help you.
I mentioned in a video I did after playing a preview of this game that the story doesn't really matter here, and in truth, now after playing the full game, I still have that opinion. This game is all about hacking, slashing, blood, punch, sword, arrows, knives, hooks, and great big iron boxing gloves and pummeling things till there's nothing left to pummel but a thin red smear on the marble floors of Mount Olympus. And you can do all of that quite completely while ignoring the story.
You, Kratos. You can bring her back to me.
Your child is not my concern.
But surely you can understand. You were once a father, too.
However, with that said, the story in God of War 3 is very well written and very entertaining. A tale of revenge and betrayal and revenge. And one really, really pissed off dude. And it has all the hallmarks of the wonderfully tragic tales from which it takes its inspiration and setting. The animation, dialogue and voice acting throughout the game and its cutscenes really are some of the best you'll come across. The game also looks stunningly beautiful. You're not really getting a good idea here because this game footage is recorded in standard definition, but in high def it will blow your eyeballs backwards. Every level is filled with spectacular detail, and the atmosphere created as you're hauling your white Spartan bum around the game is nothing short of gruesomely good looking. Even the oral landscape is wonderful. Sword swishes, blood splashes, and the glorious wet noises of heads, eyes, and limbs being aggressively relocated all sound very, very satisfying. Now, this is a game with a completely automatic camera. The player will have no control over it whatsoever, and this is usually a titanic pain in the ass. But here in God of War 3, it works, and it works well. Almost all of the time. Only once did the camera get inexplicably stuck outside the room in which I was trying to deal out angry sword rape within. And I couldn't even see half the enemies who were trying to separate my pale bald head from my pale hairless torso, and I had to reset from the last save to get anywhere. But as it only happened the once, and for the entire remainder of the game the camera was like a well-trained hellhound, I can't jam a sword in its face for just one isolated glitch. The combat, the part of this game on which everything else lives or dies, is quite honestly some of the most satisfyingly brutal I have ever experienced. Even if Kratos never uttered a single word in this entire game, you'd know all you need to know about him just from the way he fights. And making Kratos fight is possibly more fun than it should be. Absorbed in the game, I found myself cackling in delight during every battle. The range of combos, grapples, weapons, and sheer variety of ways to paint the landscape with a moist mush that was once an enemy is utterly gratifying in every way. As you play, you'll gain access to special moves, of course, but also a variety of increasingly wonderful weapons and special items, and in comparison to some other games in this genre, which combat can quickly become a dull game of mash the attack button until your thumb explodes, Dante's Inferno, God of War 3 puts its competition and imitators to shame. Even the puzzles in this game surprised me because, to be honest, puzzle levels in this kind of game often feel like tacked on ways to make the game longer or to stop your hands cramping up from the frantic battles, and as such they rarely get enough attention to make them feel like they truly belong in the game. They're usually either blindingly simple or so frustrating that you'll run out of hair to pull from your head and have to move on to your pubic hair, the forceful removal of which is usually more entertaining than solving the puzzle. But not here. Many of the puzzles in this game are actually more fun to solve than many puzzles in games which call themselves puzzle games, for crying out loud. It's at this point I usually try to find some crappy bits about the game, those nasty little surprises that can be a deal breaker when it comes to calling a game an awesome game. And I'm struggling here. In every way I look at it, God of War 3 is better, more fun, prettier, more entertaining, and simply better than any other game I've played in this genre. If it has any flaws, I simply didn't notice them through the rain of blood and maniacal giggling and amount of fun I was having. Even the difficulty curve is spot on. It's never too easy, nor so enragingly difficult that you start thinking about giving up and moving on to another game. Don't get me wrong, there are some teeth-gratingly challenging parts of this game, especially some boss battles, and in a couple of spots I died. A lot. But I kept going long past the point of death and revival cycle, that some kind of Jesus-inspired yo-yo of save points, where I may have turned off some other games and watched TV instead. But God of War 3 is just such a wonderfully awesome game, and Kratos is such a wonderful, tragic anti-hero, that the only times I even made an active decision to stop playing for a while is when my weak human flesh demanded that I feed it, so I don't fall over and die. Again. If you own a PlayStation 3, you need to be adding this to your collection because it is easily one of the best games on the platform, or on any platform for that matter. It is just a wonderful, wonderful game. If you're even thinking about buying a PS3, this could be the tipping point of that purchase. It is just that much fun to play. So thanks for watching. I've been Blunty, and I will catch you next time. I'm off to go pull some heads off some people. Fun game.
So can the children of Olympus.
Perhaps. But remember, my death came by your blade.
My blade was meant for Zeus. Be quick with your words.